Do you see this red mark here? That's from a killing spree by the Rapid Support Forces in El Fasher, picked up in a satellite photo from space. Now those forces have taken control there, in a capture that's been compared to the first 24 hours of the Rwandan genocide. The RSF have been accused of killing hundreds of unarmed civilians in ethnically motivated attacks.
We cannot say there were no signs, there were no warnings, and there have been people who have been constantly trying to raise attention on this, and no one's really acted.
The Rapid Support Forces are Sudan's paramilitary, and they've been at war with the Sudanese armed forces for more than 2 years. But we can trace it back earlier. You see, Sudan was ruled by Omar al-Bashir, an authoritarian dictator, for more than 30 years. And he formed the RSF out of Arab Janjaweed militias in 2013 to crush rebellion in the Darfur region from marginalised local people. And that resulted in their genocide.
In 2019, when Omar al-Bashir was ousted, the RSF found a way into kind of the mainstream of Sudanese politics. They physically forced themselves into the capital Khartoum as a military presence, and they worked together with the military itself to take over from Bashir. They formed something called the Military Council after big protests. Initially said they would work together with civilians. Only a couple of years later, they ousted the civilian government. And again, another couple of years after that, they were fighting themselves for power.
There's also international influence. The UAE has interest in Sudan, partly down to its gold, most of which has ended up there. And gold is something RSF Commander Ahmed has access to in Darfur. And the UAE have a relationship with him. His troops fought in support of Emirati and Saudi forces in Yemen. The UAE has been accused of arming the RSF, which it denies, and in doing so prolonging the conflict. But recently they did acknowledge some fault in their Sudan policy.
We all made the mistake when the two generals who are fighting the civil war today overthrew the civilian government. That was, in my opinion, looking back, was a critical mistake.
There are other parties involved, so Egypt is slightly more aligned with the Sudanese army, and parties who reportedly kind of diplomatically back, or in some cases provide weapons to both sides.
The RSF said it has agreed to a humanitarian ceasefire. They now control all major urban centres in Darfur.
What many think could happen is that Sudan could be split into two parts that are governed by two different forces.